Welcome to Double Vision. We're your hosts,
Maddie
and Millie,
where we dive into the unique world of twin life. Double the trouble,
double the fun.
Alright, welcome to Double Vision.
Hello visionaries, hope y'all are having a good week so far. So today's going to be a fun one. We are going to be talking about our careers and like how we got into the journeys of the careers that we're on right now, and maybe even some of what's to come in the future with them too. So we're going to start with going to college. We both went to Jacksonville State University, JSU.
Most people probably think that I went to Auburn, I feel like, because as soon as I graduated, I lived in Jacksonville still because I had a job in Anniston for, I lived there for probably 8 months after, but if you met me in more recent years, then you would just assume I went to Auburn. But I did go to Jacksonville State in Jacksonville, Alabama.
And you graduated when?
December 2020.
With a degree in what?
The hard-hitting questions. What's my degree in? It was technically family consumer science with a concentration in fashion, merchandise, and marketing. I had to think about it for a second because I normally just say fashion and marketing.
Right, yeah.
What about you?
I graduated in August of 2021 with a degree in nursing. So how did we get to these points? I guess I'll go first. We graduated high school in 2017. I actually started out in music education with a concentration in voice. I'm a singer. We're both singers, whether she says she is or not. We grew up doing it. We went to all-state choir, did all the things, got all the scholarships. So I did a year of music education, but then the tornado hit Jacksonville in 2018. And that really uprooted a lot of people's situations, and it really actually had me questioning if I was meant to be doing music education. But I got all these scholarships to do music, and I was like, obviously this is what I meant to do. But really that entire year I was questioning if I was where I was supposed to be. And so about 2 weeks before our sophomore year started, I just really felt God tell me that I needed to switch to nursing, which was crazy because I had never taken any of the nursing, like science courses or anything, had no interest in it. But I was like, couldn't hurt. So I just went ahead and swapped over to the pre-nursing course, and I got into nursing school to be on the right track to still graduate in 2021. It wasn't going to set me back any. So I just went ahead and did it, and I really enjoyed nursing school. I did go through a lot of trials through nursing school. Not only was it just like super hard, but I was diagnosed with POTS tachycardia, dysautonomia, and just a lot of stress, and then the pandemic hit. So there was a lot going on at that time for everyone, of course. But I graduated nursing school. I took a job in the intensive care unit at our local hospital, and I loved working there. I really loved what we did, but of course this was still when the pandemic was really present. We were going through a lot. It was a lot to come in as a baby nurse and learn pretty much everything COVID, and then once COVID started to die down, how to be a nurse for other things at that point. And it was really overwhelming, and so I would just scroll Indeed sometimes out of just for fun, and I found the job that I work now as a substance abuse nurse with a focus in behavioral health as well. And I interviewed and I got the job, and I love it, and so much so that it inspired me to go to nurse practitioner school. So I started nurse practitioner school in January of 2023. In our previous episode, if you haven't listened, go give it a listen. I said that I will be graduating in December 2024, so here in about 4 months, 4.5 months at this point, I'll be graduating with my degree in that, and hopefully I will pass my boards to be a board certified PMHMP and work doing telehealth and continue on the substance abuse journey. A lot of people think that what I do is
crazy and scary, but it's really not, and it's really rewarding to see people go from being so sick and needing so much help to being just completely different people after we've taken care of them for the duration of time that they stay with us at our inpatient facility. I've done some travel nurse contract work, and I really love that as well. It really opens up your eyes to see things in different communities, because this contract was a bit further away in a bigger city. It was really interesting to see. And so that's pretty much where I'm at my journey right now. Like I said before, I hope to be working in telehealth so I can be home with my son and hang out with Maddie more. But we'll see where God takes us from there.
Can you tell us what a PMHNP is?
Did I say
that right?
PMHNP, yes.
Okay.
PMHNP is a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner.
Okay. You also mentioned that people think what you do is scary, but there have been instances, sorry, the pupper wants me. There have been instances where it has been a little bit scary before.
Yeah, working night shift, especially where I do work, it can get a little sketchy, I'm not gonna lie, but for the most part, it's very safe. There have been very few times I've not felt safe at my job. I know which instance you're referring to.
Being the night before your wedding.
Yeah, that was an interesting time. Essentially what had happened was we'd had a patient who we found a weapon in their luggage without revealing too much information, and we had to locate the other piece to said weapon because I work at a weapon-free facility. I texted my family to let them know, hey, this is what's going on.
We had family that had flown into town, and we were all just like, what do we do? Like,
yeah,
because go up there.
Well, I told them, I'm pretty sure I'm safe, but just to let y'all know what's going on in case you don't hear from me for a few hours, because you never know what's going to happen when you're working with people who are inebriated and extremely intoxicated or high, because those people don't know what they're doing, therefore it's hard for us to always know what we're doing. But for the most part, it's not a dangerous job. But there was that one instance where everyone was kind of panicking just because I wanted to let them know kind of what was going on. But other than that, I've had very few other times where I didn't feel safe in my job. So
yeah, that was definitely a little bit unnerving for the whole family as well. So
yeah,
I can't imagine being in that position.
Yeah, I remember that night you were texting me and calling me nonstop, and I was and I wasn't at my phone because I was having to do the submission for this patient, and I was like, "Are you good?" She was like, "Me, are you okay?"
Yeah.
And I was fine, but I didn't end up texting them for a long period of time, letting them know everything was good.
Just a little concerning.
That was the problem. But other than that, it's a safe place, and I love the people I work with. I work with some really, really great people, and I couldn't ask for a better job being in the position that I'm in. So yeah, all right, Maddie, tell us about your career journey now.
Mine's a little bit different from Millie's.
Yeah.
So like we said, I graduated in December of 2020 with a degree in fashion merchandise, but I actually already had a job, and I'd started that job in August of 2020, and I was working, if you're in Alabama, then you probably know of Martin's, which is a big department store. So I started out being an assistant buyer for them. And assistant buyers there pretty much just put in the purchase orders for the buyers. So I started out being an assistant buyer, and I was working 40 hours a week while being in school, which is really not that deep. Like, you're probably like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? It really wasn't that big of a deal. And so a couple months after working there, probably not even a full 2 months, they were like, we need another buyer. Would you like to be a buyer? And I was like, well, yes, I want to be a buyer. And so they had the children's buyer position open, and I was like, I don't really want to be a children's buyer, because a fun fact about me is I used to not like children. I didn't want children, and so I was like, I don't want to do children's buying. And my boss at the time was like, you're gonna eventually want kids, like you'll
you'll do great at this. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I did it. And I was really good at it. I really liked it. And then a couple months after that, the ladies buyer left. So I ended up becoming the ladies buyer. And that was so much fun. And then probably like 4 or 5 months after that, my husband and I got engaged. And so they were like, because they knew that we weren't living in the same town. They were like, people always get married and leave. Are you going to do that? And I was like, no, of course not. Like, why would I do that? Like, I love this place. But obviously, like, I love my husband more, so I'm gonna eventually move to Auburn, but I wasn't like trying to tell them that. So, I stayed the buyer for like 8 months until August of 2021. And, the company that I worked with after that reached out to me through LinkedIn and offered me a position to be the social media associate. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, because they were in Auburn. And I wasn't looking for a job yet, because I still had, this was August, or technically it was July. So I had from July till May, till we were getting married. So I had all that time. I wasn't in a rush to get to Auburn, but I'd been praying for a way there, and I was praying for a way out of my other job without just not working. So they reached out, and I took the job, and it was amazing. I got to travel, and got to go on all the photo shoots and do all the social media, which was amazing because it taught me so much, and ultimately is what made me go into starting my business, which is photography. So now I'm a photographer. I was at that job from August of 2021 to September of 2022. And then I left to pursue photography, and I've been doing it ever since, and it's been the most amazing thing. I'm a full-time wedding photographer. I do a lot of college grads, high school seniors. I do families sometimes, and then I do, recently, I've been getting so many inquiries for headshots. It's insane. So I do headshots too, but my main focus is definitely weddings. I love my brides more than anything. They're incredible, and being able to say that you were a part of somebody's wedding day is just the most amazing thing. And like making sure that I, photographed them eating their cake or sipping their champagne or like putting their shoes on or, putting their earrings on. It's just incredible. I did a wedding a couple weeks ago where the grandmother was wearing the dress that she wore at her daughter's wedding. So she was wearing the dress that she wore at her daughter's wedding, but it was her granddaughter's wedding.
Right.
And like that is just so special. Like they told me that, and I got tears. It's just incredible. So like being able to capture moments like that, there is nothing like it. And it's so funny because whenever I got married, I was like, wow, this would be so much fun. I just don't know how I could ever be a part of it. I know a lot of vendors become, they go into the wedding industry after getting married, and I had been wanting to do something in the wedding industry, but I just didn't know how to do it. And then one day my husband and I just kind of sat down, and he was like, if you want to do it, then you just need to do it. And so I just did it, and thanks to him and some incredible friends who've helped me, it's just been great. And like we kind of said in the first episode, I have a very flexible schedule. I can be on my own time. I can finish a wedding in 1 week, or I can finish it in 6 weeks, and I'll always try and get it done pretty early, so my brides can have their photos. But I have a very flexible schedule, which is very nice. I can go to Millie's house and hang out with her and see her baby, or I can just go to the beach like I did this past weekend. Or it's just amazing what being able to work for myself has provided for me. But also I think people have a stigma almost against people who work for themselves, because they think, oh, like they don't work super hard, they can just do what they want. But
It's like the complete opposite.
I'm always working. Like I could be working at 11 o'clock at night, or I could be working at 6 in the morning. Like you never know. Like I'm literally always working.
Like you make yourself sick from working so much at times.
Yeah, I threw up at 2 weddings this year, because first off, just because it was hot. Like it's been so hot, but then also because I don't sit down. I don't eat, like I would rather miss dinner to make sure I was photographing every possible moment than eat. And when it's June and it's 110 degrees outside with the heat index, that's just not a good decision to make.
Sure not.
But I made it twice, so but we've gotten through it. We've been better about it. So, but yeah, my job's amazing. It's the best ever, and I can travel, and it's just been great.
Yeah. And that should tell you the biggest difference in us, because I'm someone who has gone from running from room to room coding people on ventilators and saving lives or helping save lives, and I think what she does is terrifying. And probably vice versa with what I do. It's one of those things where like I couldn't imagine doing what she does, and I know she couldn't imagine doing what I do.
No.
So it just goes to show, like, we're getting ready to do an episode on being twins and things like that, like
And
the
just how different
differences.
we are.
And but we're similar in some ways too. But for the most part, we're sharing like so many of our differences. And this, I think, we couldn't go into a better episode from our careers, because we're both very passionate about what we do. Very. And I don't really feel like you can see us without seeing she's a nurse and she's a photographer, because we are so like into our careers and what we do.
Yeah, it's
They're intertwined into who we are as people.
yes, and not in a bad way, but I would almost say in a, like, not too much, but just in a, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like in a, I don't know, in a way that's like almost unhealthy sometimes. Like,
Oh,
because
for
it's
sure.
all we talk about. Like, she'll come home from precepting or doing her thing, and it's what she talks about for hours and hours and hours. Like, she can't leave work at work, and I can't leave work at work.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, she's in school, so, like, she's doing the schoolwork that goes along with, like, what she's doing at work. And I'm not saying, because I don't know what you do, because I'm not saying, like, the schoolwork that you do on your computer is intertwined with what you do at work, but, like, just like with me, like, you have your things that you have to do at work, and then you have your things that you have to do at home.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
just like me, I have my things that I have to actually go and shoot, but then I have to come home and I still have to edit it and do all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's neither one of them are jobs that you can just like walk out the door and be like, all right, I'm done for the day. Like, you can't do that.
Right. Which, I mean, me being in school, I guess, is technically a choice that I make, but it's one to better provide for my future and my baby's future, my family's future, and ultimately, hopefully, a lot of different people's futures. So
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
one of those things where I have to put the work in now, so hopefully here in a few months I can kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my biggest prayer for sure right now. 'Cause
Hopefully here in a couple months, both of our schedules will slow down a little bit.
yeah, for sure. Because right now it's like, bada bing, bada boom, no, you gotta go all the time.
Yep, always something.
But all right, I guess that pretty much wraps up everything for this episode. Like we said, in our next episode, we'll be talking more about being twins and everything that goes along with that. So,
We have to do our favorite thing.
oh,
Millie's trying to hurry us off camera.
I am. So, all right, are you ready?
Yep. Is yours zipped? Okay, mine is
Yeah.
too. Alright, you count down.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. All right.
Similar.
Yeah, that's
Kinda.
your shower gel.
Yes, mine is the Amondi Huile de Duce. It's the L'Occitane. It's the shower oil, and this is brand new. I haven't opened it yet because I have like a travel one in the shower. I'm gonna give you one because it is incredible. Like, I've been begging her to buy this for months, and it's one thing that I think she doesn't understand. But it is so good. It's a shower oil that you rub and it turns into a body wash, and it turns hot on your skin.
Nice.
It is so luxurious, and like, I don't want to live without this. So the Nordstrom sale actually has like a big bottle of 2 for like $50 on sale that I think I'm gonna order too, even though I haven't like even touched this, because I still have one that's on sale, or I still have one in my shower right now, like a travel size that still has a little bit left in it. But I don't want to be without this like ever. So I'm gonna give one to you, and I'm gonna probably buy the big one.
Okay, all right.
So I have the, do you say CeraVe or CeraVe? Or CeraVe? I say CeraVe. I have the CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion for normal to dry skin. I got this, I guess it was last week. I struggle with dry skin. I used to have really oily skin. I have very acne prone skin, and I used to be super oily.
Your skin looks good.
So after pregnancy, I noticed my skin has just been so dry. I don't know if it's hormones or what, but my skin stays so dry, especially like on my nose and between my eyebrows. I don't know if that's because I wear glasses or what, but this, I put it on, I use it every single day. So I've used it every single day for a week now, but when I tried it the very first day, I had no dry skin, no little dry patches of like flakiness on my skin anymore. So I got the small bottle, but I'm definitely, once I finish this, going to be getting the big bottle because this is like my new holy grail. And I was using another drugstore moisturizer before, but it burned my face, and this does not burn my face because I have sensitive skin. So this is 10 out of 10. So I will continue using this until it either doesn't work for me anymore or I find something better. And it's cheap, so like maybe $6 for this. I don't know, couldn't remember, couldn't tell you. I also got it from Ulta, it was probably going to be cheaper from like the dollar store or Walmart. Yeah. But I needed it at the time, so anyways, skincare.
Alright, well that wraps up today's episode.
Yeah, officially.
Officially.
I'm not going to get us off topic of forgetting segments of the show.
Alright, well you can follow us on Instagram at Double Vision with Maddie and Millie. The width is just a W, so Double Vision W, Maddie and Millie. You can follow us on YouTube at Double Vision Maddie Millie. You can rate us on Spotify and Apple Music. And comment and let us know what your favorite part of today's episode was.
And if there's any products that you want us to try.
Yes, for sure. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. We had so much fun and it was great. We hope you learned a little something about us if you didn't already know it. So,
and if you have any questions about either of our careers or our journeys, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to answer you.
bye.
Bye, visionaries.